musicians have a unique connection to people, much more so than actors. I mean, you bring music into your head and into your home and into your car, and you hear it over and over again, where you have to kind of experience an actor on the screen. The Eagles, in particular, really personified great American music. It was a blending of country and rock and roll. They loved rhythm and blues. You could hear that in some of their songs. Great vocal harmony like the Beach Boys. It touched so many people. They were so massively popular. It's hard not to feel a loss about this one.
I had a chance to see them, 5-6 years ago? They did a concert at Busch Stadium. I was on the floor of the concert, and it was fantastic. And somebody who was just younger and really didn't experience the Eagles the way some older people did, you forget how many great songs they had.
Well, it was one hit after another. And those shows, the one you talk about, Glenn Frey was the mastermind behind the show. He picked the set list. He determined what the running order was going to be, what the tempo of the songs was going to be, and how they were going to the guys in the band to deliver exactly that. And they all deferred to him too.
Yeah. So this morning, I don't know if I'm reading the wrong articles or not, because they weren't controversial.
Well, they never went out and courted certain things. They had their own internal controversies. That's certain, and maybe not necessarily external ones, and that's fine. Look, every band has their way of operating. It's no different than any business organization or any family. Some people get along for a period of time, some don't. Some produce great things, some don't. The Eagles were able to make tremendous records, learn to live with one another, and continue as a touring act for many, many years.
So where are they in terms where is Glenn Frey in terms of a songwriter, in terms of the greats?
Well, he's certainly one of the great American rock and roll songwriters. I mean, the Eagles' body of work is just so important and so substantive. Their influence on rock and roll is pretty identifiable, but I think what's more important is the Eagles were the template for country music as it started in the late 80s and moved forward to where it is now, where it's more popular than it's ever been before. I think there's an entire generation or two of country artists who see the Eagles as the template.
That's a really interesting point, because they are a little country and they are a little rock and roll, and they took that rock and roll influence and sort of brought some country into it.
Exactly, and you listen to a lot of country records today, and they have a lot more rock and roll influence in them, but they're unmistakably country.
Don Henley and Glenn Frey, was it a match made in heaven, or was it just two guys who happened to, how much did those two click, and how much did that click make the Eagles?
Well, that click made the Eagles, period. But it was also the sum total of the parts of the other contributors, too. You can't short sell what Randy Meisner, Bertie Lenton, Joe Walsh, Tim Schmidt all brought to the group. But bands are alchemy. It's magic that happens just because that group of individuals makes that sort of connection. Again, when you're a young person and you're finding that, you're a different person than you are after success and money come. And you grow up and either you learn to live with each other or you move apart. And the Eagles moved apart, but then they grew up and got back together.
Do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite song?
Yeah.
I like the song "Take It to the Limit." Now, Randy Meisner sings that, but I like it because it sounds like an American rhythm and blues song. Sounds like Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes could have done it.
This morning, story in the Washington Post, Take It Easy, about a corner in Winslow, Arizona. They say that 100,000 people a year make a pilgrimage to Winslow, Arizona to stand on that corner.
It's remarkable, the power of art. Yes, that's. I understand it's a true story that it really put that city on the map, just because it worked well with the rhyming meter of the song. So you got to give it to Glenn for finding that one.
Howard Kramer, former curatorial director of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum in Cleveland, a place we should all go. Howard, thanks for joining us here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you very much for having me.
You got it. 809